Miami Heat have been leaking rumors and commentary to league sources about Jimmy Butler now for the better part of the last 2 weeks. Since he was suspended, he is actually due to be back on Friday against Denver when the Heat return from their road trip, for which they are 3-2. And surprisingly, I'm honestly a little surprised that they were 3-2. They play the Lakers tomorrow or tonight. It's now after 12 midnight here in South Florida. And they play the Lakers to finish their road trip. If they win, they go 4-2. I mean, that's a pretty darn good road trip, I would say, considering the fact that, you're going there without your best player, a lot of drama going on within the franchise, and a lot of sensitive feelings and sensitive people involved. But they also had the luxury of playing Utah, Portland, Golden State, Sacramento, the Clippers, and the Lakers. So it wasn't exactly a gauntlet of a road trip. They did beat the Warriors after blowing a 17-point lead against Sacramento in the fourth quarter of that game. So they could be looking at a 5-1 road trip, actually, which would have been remarkable. They did lose to the Clippers yesterday with Bam Adebayo, who couldn't play because he had a bump on his back or whatever, a bump on his butt. But yeah, Bam didn't play, so the Heat ended up losing that game. But they finished the road trip tonight in LA, and they'll be back Friday against Denver. But before we jump on in, welcome back everyone to Rudy's Rant. We talk facts over feelings. This is Powered by Coming Out of the Podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmat. If you are new to the channel, welcome aboard. Appreciate you being here. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the video. For those of you who are back again, I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all for jumping back on board with me. Be sure to leave a comment, like the video, share the video, all that good stuff. And I will repeat again that we are dropping merch this week. And proceeds from the merch drop of Rudy's Rant, Come On Now, the podcast, Combat Corner, proceeds will be going to California fire victims, as I have people that I know. My family I have some family live in California. My cousin lives in Sherman Oaks. She's evacuated her house. Well, this is not specifically for her, but she knows a lot of people that have been losing everything. And I want to get money to people, however much I can get over there, through merch sales and my own personal contribution to these people, because they need it. They're going through a horrible time and they've lost everything. So whatever support you can give, I greatly appreciate by purchasing merch. And of course, when you purchase the merch, take pictures with the merch on and post it on our community board so people can see what it looks like. I appreciate y'all. Let's talk about this topic. Jimmy Butler. The Jimmy Butler saga has gotten out of control. It is ridiculous, and the Miami Heat have been leaking rumors, and they need to stop. They really need to stop. People are going to sit here and tell me that I love Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is, I think, a fabulous player. And I think he's a misunderstood player. I have done videos before on this. And all you have had over the past week and a half or so, 2 weeks, is a bunch of leaked shit about Jimmy Butler to paint him as this evil motherfucker. And what's so stupid about it overall is that it devalues your ability to trade him. You want to trade him, right? The Miami Heat want to trade him, right? Your leaking of shit makes it harder to trade him for people with assets. You don't want to trade Jimmy Butler for a box of rocks and a package of Skittles. That's not the type of trade. And for those of you who think he's not a good player anymore, get out of your minds. Shooting 55% from the field. His role has been changed and limited. Why? I don't really know. But we are looking at a situation once again that really shows how out of touch Pat Riley is. And all you Pat Riley dick suckers and beat offs can go fly a kite somewhere, because your allegiance to a president of a team is crazy. It's like the man can never make a mistake to y'all. So there's a report here from The Athletic that I will share. It says Jimmy Butler reportedly got fed up with the Miami Heat after they signed players like Josh Richardson and Thomas Bryant as a way to add help to the roster, per The Athletic. Frustrations over other contenders being more aggressive The defending Boston Celtics acquiring Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday. The Milwaukee Bucks traded for Damian Lillard, have left Butler disappointed with the Heat seemingly not being as ambitious. The source said last year seemed to mark a crucial pivot point as Miami brought in Thomas Bryant and Josh Richardson to bolster its roster, which left Butler feeling he had to do the impossible again, the source said. Let's talk about that. Josh Richardson was part of the trade to get Jimmy Butler. He was part of the deal to get Jimmy Butler down to Miami. He is the guy that Miami wouldn't initially trade to get Jimmy Butler, and eventually did trade to get Jimmy Butler. And since then was with multiple teams. Thomas Bryant is a journeyman. Both of those players are journeymen. And you brought that in as a way to combat the Celtics who bring in Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday. And you wonder why the guy is getting upset. He knows who's on his team. And it's crazy because he did so much for Miami. Everyone really believed that Miami had this great team. Like, people really believed that Miami had this great team. Miami did not. Miami had Jimmy Butler going bananas in the playoffs. Whether you like what he does in the regular season or not, you don't like that he misses games, whatever, I don't care. Miami went to 2 NBA championships and 1 shot away from a third in 4 years. In 4 years. And it was with Jimmy Butler and a cast of guys. Half the team from the G League. And you're going to sit, second best player is Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo would be the 5th best player on the Boston Celtics right now. That he'd be the 5th best player on the Celtics right now, folks. There was another one that I saw. Jimmy Butler is prepared to return to play for the Miami Heat if he's not moved by the time his suspension is lifted. As he should. He's a professional. He may have been upset and he maybe dogged it a little bit, but you can't throw this guy in the corner, folks. Like, you can't throw him in the corner like he's some corner 3-point shooter. That's not who he is. That's ridiculous. There was some other stuff. There was something that I saw earlier that I want to pull up. Another thing that was said by the Miami Heat about Jimmy Butler was that was leaked by the Miami Heat, was that he was not flying with the team. He was taking a lot of personal flights separate of the team. He wasn't going to shoot arounds. He wasn't doing things the way the Heat wanted him to do it. And according to Chris Haynes, the majority of Jimmy Butler's private flights away from the team were to visit his father during his illness before he passed away. Chris Haynes, I was told in the last 5 years, Jimmy Butler took less than 5 separate flights from the team, and 4 of them were in the finals against Denver when his father was sick. Now, think about that, folks. Think about that. Jimmy Butler played every game in those finals. So did you know that he was dealing with his father ill and he's flying to see his father before these games? I didn't know that. No one knew that. The Miami Heat knew that, though. But yet the Miami Heat are out here talking about how he's just skipping flights and flying on his own. Everything the Miami Heat has been doing has been designed to make Jimmy Butler look like this deranged asshole. And it's one of those things where I don't know why they're doing it, because they're devaluing him. Or maybe they're trying to get him to opt in and take a lower deal to stay. He doesn't want to stay. But I do believe that if things are done properly, he could stay. He might change his mind. But there's something to be said that's called treat people with respect and dignity. And respect and dignity is not just about saying, Oh, you're under contract making $50 million a year. Stop bitching and go play. That's not what we're talking about. Because people, the regular person doesn't understand the multi-millionaire professional athlete here. Don't understand them. You come from a perspective of, well, I make 100 grand a year. I make 200 grand a year. I make 50 grand a year. If I made $50 million a year, I would just play and shut up. No, you probably wouldn't. And the reason you probably wouldn't is that because you are making $50 million a year, because you have that power, you have that ability to leverage your ability against the team in a negotiation. Most people don't have leverage in negotiations in their jobs, which is why you're so quick to take $50,000 from a potential employer. And I've been there, and I was there as a younger person. I was there. I was like, oh, well, if you're going to offer me $50,000, I guess I'll take it. Not understanding that where you start is where you set yourself up for the future. So if I say yes to 50 grand and I get a 5% raise next year, which is a high raise in the world of raises, because it's usually 1%, 3%, 3%, 5% in regular business. My next year's salary is 53 grand. If I get a raise of 5%, I'm not jumping to 60. 60 would be a 20% raise. People don't get 20% raises in the world that we, in any world, really. So you understand your power in negotiation, and your power, lies in your skill, and his power lies in his skill. So when you, and then there's a few other things that I'm going to pull up as well to show you, because I know Max Strus was a sticking point for Jimmy Butler. Max Strus had a sarcastic personality like Jimmy Butler. They would have a handshake where they would give each other the bird after it. They were good friends. This feels like LeBron James all over again. This feels like the situation with LeBron and Pat Riley, where LeBron James was pissed off when Mike Miller was let go, amnestied. He was good friends with Mike Miller. He didn't like it, and it bothered him. And so what ends up happening is, it was one of the reasons that LeBron James was more willing to leave. There was other reasons, but that reason bothered him. And this is an example of Pat Riley does not know how to read a room. I will tell you this: letting go of Max Strus, the Miami Heat, was a really bad decision. He's on the Cleveland Cavaliers. You do know what the Cleveland Cavaliers record is right now, don't you? They were a playoff team last year. They went to the second round, right? And they are 34-5. They have the best record in the NBA. They're 34-5. I don't know what happened this year, but they are balling out of control. And letting go of Max Strus last year hurt, because Max Strus played well last year. He's not playing as well this year. I'm guessing he's probably hurt because he only played 10 games. But last year, he averaged 12.2 points per game. He started 70 games with the Cavs. And that bothered Jimmy Butler. It did. And you replace him with guys like Josh Richardson. You let go of Caleb Martin. Replaced him with what? Like you letting go of a guy. You let go of Gabe Vincent, who was a really important part to our puzzle. Now, yeah, he has not panned out in LA, but these are guys that were important players to the Miami Heat. And you let them go and you replace them with not much. Here's another one. It says, you can't pretend you're bigger than LeBron. LeBron leaves, this ship crashes. Jimmy comes, gets you to the chip twice. If he tells you, bring me one more star, motherfucker, bring him one more star. That's Gilbert Arenas sounding off on Pat Riley. Yes, I agree with that, Gilbert Arenas. Completely. People think that if Jimmy Butler was not here, the Miami Heat would have been in the finals. No, they would not have been. If Jimmy Butler had not come to Miami, Miami would not be a 500 team for the last 5 years. Miami would be a 20 to 30 win team. That's what they would be. I'm trying to find this thing where it was a screenshot. Where is it? Here we go. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Everything broken down from Chris Haynes reporting from Jimmy Butler's side. This is from the Jimmy Butler camp. Okay, so we can take it as this is Jimmy Butler camp. Miami Heat have been leaking shit. They won't even say it's from the Miami Heat. They're just leaking shit. Jimmy wanted a face, and this is where it all starts from. This is where it all begins. When Pat Riley told Jimmy to shut up during the Boston Celtics series, when he told him to shut up because he wasn't playing. It's not what you do, Pat. It's not how you talk to your star player. You don't embarrass him publicly. You don't do that. It shouldn't take a genius to tell you that you don't do that. I mean, I will tell you this. I work in the company and I love the company that I work in. I love them. I love the CEO, the chairman, the CFO, the CBO. I love them all. They become like family to me. If any one of them ever publicly embarrassed me in front of my company, I'd quit. I would quit. Why? Because I've earned a level of respect and a level of dignity from my performance, because I'm a top performer in my company. I've earned that level of respect that if there's an issue that you have with me, you've got my phone number. You can reach me on Teams. You can video chat with me. You can have me come to my company's based in Orlando. You can have me go to Orlando and I meet with you in person. If you have an issue with something I did, you have options to speak to me in person, privately. That's not what Pat Riley does. Pat Riley thinks that this is some generation where you can just tell players to suck a dick and like it. That's not where we are. And I don't make $52 million a year. I don't make $52 million a year. I make a hell of a good living, and I don't make $52 million a year. And in my position, if that ever happened to me, I would be looking for a new job and I would resign from my company. There's no way that I would tolerate that, because once you allow that, it will happen over and over and over again. And people will lose respect for you. These players in this team right now, while they don't say nothing publicly, they damn well know that Jimmy Butler has every right to be pissed the fuck off. They know what's going on there. They know it. They know how valuable he is. They know what he's done for this franchise. They know that if it's not for him, they're not in the finals twice in 4 years, or almost 3 times in 4 years. They all know it. They know how his game elevates to a very, very high level in the playoffs. An elite level. He's really damn good in the regular season. He is elite in the playoffs. And they all know it. But they're not going to speak because they don't want to get Pat Riley pissed off or whatever the hell. But think about the fact that Pat Riley embarrassed this man publicly instead of making a phone call to Jimmy Butler and said, look, we need to talk. You can't do that. Please stop talking. Like, you're not playing right now. You're not playing right now. Stop talking. Like, do me that favor. Just stop. If he continues, then you would have the right as Pat Riley to say, you know what? I told you to stop talking. I asked you professionally to stop talking. Now I'm gonna tell you to stop talking. And if it happens a third time, now I'm gonna go to the meeting like, yo, I told this motherfucker to shut the fuck up. He doesn't shut up, and I can't deal with this bullshit. And then I would understand. You gave the opportunity. You gave him the courtesy. Jimmy Butler wanted a face-to-face meeting with Riley after he called him out at his house. Riley never spoke to him. That's disrespect, man. Your boss doesn't respect you. And the funny thing is, your boss, who you make more money than, doesn't respect you. That's a problem for most people. If your boss doesn't respect you, folks, I want you to ask yourself this. If your boss does not respect you, do you want to keep working there? If you can find another job, would you not want to find another job? Anytime I've ever left a company, and I stay because I'm pretty loyal when it comes to my work life. I extend loyalty where other people do not extend it. Law firms that I've worked for, there's no loyalty whatsoever. My loyalty was way above what theirs was, and I should have made decisions earlier. It's like I said, going back earlier in life, when you're making 50 grand, you take it and whatever. You have no power, you have no leverage. You don't know what it is to make $50 million a year, $30 million a year, 20 million, $10 million a year. Hell, you don't know what it is to make $300,000 a year. You make 150K, you're in the top 2% of the earners in the nation. So you don't know. Jimmy reportedly missed flights only for his father's sickness in the finals versus Denver. Think about that. You're leaking shit that he's taking his own flights, missing flights, and you damn well knew it's because he was visiting his sick father. Like, what kind of twisted, sick, demented fuck must you be? And understand, there's receipts to this shit. Jimmy felt, now we're going by the emotion. Jimmy felt the Heat were leaking trade rumors originally, which upset him. Now, maybe true, maybe not. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Probably was true. Probably was true. And it upset him. Jimmy was upset when he showed up at a new offense, more threes and pace, and more zone defense was being worked on in training camp that didn't fit his play style when trying to earn his money. Exactly. He's in his contract year to earn a contract, and you change the offense that goes away from his skill set. Yeah, that can cause a problem. You're fucking with his money now. You're doing something to affect his ability to earn the maximum dollars that he wants. Jimmy one time last year didn't receive his paycheck due to accounting reasons, which took 10 days to get fixed, which never happens, Haynes said. Mickey Arison is a multi-billionaire, people. Mickey Arison is a multi-billionaire. Your best player did not get paid for 10 days. Now, look, he ain't crying for a dollar. This is where I can go. He ain't crying for a dollar. But how the fuck does it take 10 days to fix an accounting issue? Or does that mean that the Miami Heat is just broke? It's crazy to me because they're always sold out. But an accounting issue, which is why it took 10 days to get fixed for Jimmy Butler. Mickey Arison should have cut Jimmy Butler a check out of his own pocket to pay that man his money. That doesn't happen. Jimmy was upset his first day back from sickness. He had to speak to the media during all the trade rumors. I don't blame him for being upset about that. You've been sick. You're spreading rumors of him being traded. Now you want him to answer questions? You're better off not. Okay. Jimmy's agent, after the Pelicans game, when Jimmy got called out for effort, argued against it with some speed tracking stats to back it up. Okay, fine. Haynes said at this point, it's not about the money with the Heat. It's a relationship issue. Yeah, that's a respect issue. It's a respect issue with Pat Riley. Jimmy is expecting his return to the Miami Heat if no trade offer is done by the time his suspension is lifted. Jimmy Butler. I love Jimmy Butler, and I expect him to come back as a professional and play and do his best and play hard. Why? Because he wants his money. His $52 million opt-in is $52 million. And I will say this. I don't think the Miami Heat should trade Jimmy Butler. I think it's a mistake. I think you have to ride the wave. There's reports now that Jimmy Butler is supposed to meet with Mickey Arison, which is what Mickey Arison should have done weeks ago, in my opinion. You own the franchise. If there's an issue with the fucking president and your best player, you're the owner, you get your ass in there and you have a meeting with this man. And you try to fix the situation. And I'm not saying fix it by trading him for spare parts. I'm talking about fixing it where we have two grown-ass men speak to each other and just say, fuck, man, I'm sorry. This was wrong. I'm sorry. Everyone says sorry. But it has to start with Pat Riley saying sorry, because Pat Riley started this bullshit. He really did. He really did. And yeah, you're gonna need Mickey Harrison to come in here and say, Jimmy, blah, 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 and fix this crap. And maybe Jimmy just says, no, screw you, I'm done. I don't want to be here no more. Maybe that is. I don't think so, because he has businesses all down here. He lives down here now. People don't want, he's 35 years old, man. That man doesn't want to move. He doesn't really want to move. He's not going to move his home. He might move to the new city to play, but he won't move. But Pat Riley started this shit. And all these Pat Riley beat-offs and suck-offs, and these fanboys of Pat Riley, he did it to LeBron. He did it to Shaq. He did it to Dwayne Wade. He's doing it to Jimmy Butler. He does this to everybody. And I will tell you this. This is like watching the fucking crap with LeBron all over again, where you got rid of his favorite, one of his best friends, and you replaced them with what? Jimmy Butler has every right. Look at our roster. Our roster stinks. Our roster stinks. Haywood Highsmith is our starting power forward, people. If you think Haywood Highsmith is good, that's you. He's not. See, then here we go. Here's people comment. Don't believe a word of it. We know Jimmy was leaking to Shams. How would the Heat know where Jimmy preferred to be traded? Terrible negotiating. See, funny that you say that. There's different Heat podcasts out of there, and one of them asked, "At what point does Jimmy fire his agent for not?" See, this is what I'm talking. It's just, yeah. Jimmy Butler has a tight circle, man. He ain't firing his agent. Yeah, I don't. Anyhow, that's all I got on this one, man. That's all I got. I would like to see it worked out, but we'll see. All I know is I'm stuck in one more year of tickets and I won't renew, because the Miami Heat have done nothing to get better over the last 4 years. Season ticket holder here. The Miami Heat have done nothing. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear from any Miami Heat fan who doesn't buy tickets. That's where I laugh. If you're a Heat fan and you don't buy season tickets, your opinion on this doesn't matter to me, because you're not an investor in this fucking team. You don't invest money and time into this team. I have invested a lot of money over the last 7 years in season tickets with this team. And I also had them in the early 2000s when Shaq was here. And I had season tickets for a few years when I was making very little money, but still managed to buy tickets to the Miami Heat for season tickets. I'm telling you right now, I will not renew my tickets. I'm stuck in a contract. I'm done. Trade Jimmy Butler for spare parts. Done. They're not doing anything. They don't want to win. I'd rather go pay the Florida Panthers some money, and they're sold out now too. But I hope Mickey Harrison fixes it. We'll see. But yeah, all you Heat fans that don't go to Heat games, but you sit here and you have your Pat Riley allegiance and be blow hard, blow him off, whatever. Hey, y'all can do what y'all do. I roll with Jimmy Butler, man. That's all I got to say. You don't like it? I don't give a fuck. But we shall see if he's back on that court on Friday against the Denver Nuggets. This is Rudy's Rant. We talk facts over feelings. Leave a comment. Let me know your opinion. Love to hear it. Doesn't mean I'll actually care about it, because if you're not a Heat fan that goes to games, I don't really. We'll see. Let me know. Come on now.